Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hyfi Kids and Preschool Weekly Training Podcast. We are so excited that you are here. My name is Isaac.
Hey, I'm Kayla.
I'm Crystal.
And we are part of the Hyfi team. We are so excited for the launch of this new resource, Hyfi. And some of you may just be thinking, what is Hyfi? What is this thing that I've heard about? What is this thing I've maybe seen online, seen people talk about? Well, we are here to answer that question today of what is Hyfi. So to start off, Hyfi is a resource created by Lifeway for preschoolers, kids, and students, and it is to fit in that Wednesday night, Sunday morning slot in your ministry. Now, we like to say that Hyfi is three things. It is flexible, it is faithful, and it is fun. It is flexible for you as the leader to be able to customize it for your church to fit what you need best. It is faithful. It is always going to be true to the Word of God. Kids are going to hear the gospel. Kids are going to hear the truth about who God is and who they are because of that each and every week. And something I am very excited for is that it is fun. Hyfi is high energy. Think camp, think VBS, all wrapped up into a weekly resource for you. So I have Kayla, I have Crystal here, and I just kind of want to start off let's just have a conversation about Hyfi. Kayla, what is your favorite part about Hyfi?
Oh man, there's so much about Hyfi that I love so much. I love how fun it is. I love how flexible it can be for the kidmin leader. We've heard from church leaders before of like, oh my goodness, this is saving us so much time on prep. We don't have to do like months and months of prep beforehand because this is making it so much faster. But I would say one of my favorite things about Hyfi that I'm so excited for church leaders, for you guys to have this in your hands, is the 12 truths. So Hyfi is built on these 12 simple biblical truths that you can find on our website, myhyfi.com. But on there, you'll see these 12 simple biblical truths. And each one for kids and students says, I am known. I am forgiven. I am made for community. And the reason that I love these is because of where the kids in our culture are right now. So I love learning about our culture, and I love learning about where kids are right now. And really, we are swimming in these waters that we call, not just us, but that is called currently expressive individualism. And what that means is that kids are seeing everywhere the message that I get to define who I am. I get to say what my identity is. And so as the church, we really have to think through, okay, how do we answer that? How do we give an answer to what the culture is saying that we know is biblical? And so that is the foundation of Hyfi. It's a highly relational resource that helps preschoolers and kids and students recognize who they are because of who God already says they are, because of who God is himself. And so every single month we are diving into, this is my identity, not because I say it's my identity, but this is my identity because God has already spoken this to be true about me. So I am so excited. I really love this foundation that Hyfi is built on to really give kids language to understand who God has already said that they are, who their identity is, and how they can live that out in a world to really transform and change the culture around them.
That is so exciting, Kayla. I love that idea. I love that we get to teach these kids these truths every single week. And each week has its own, or each month has its own truth that we really get to dive into. So, Crystal, what is your favorite part of Hyfi?
Well, I feel like Kayla said what a lot of us, like that's our favorite part, really is the heart of Hyfi.
I think she stole a lot of our answers. I'm not going to lie. Come on.
All your thunder, you guys.
You really did. So if we're going to talk about anything besides the heart of Hyfi, which I would say is my favorite part, my second favorite part is just the practical way that we're able to deliver this. Isaac, both you and I are former kids ministry directors at our churches. And I love the fact that Hyfi is an all digital resource. That means that everything that I need is living in one place that I can access all the time. And I can sit there on a Monday and I can start to customize my lesson for the week and send it out to my volunteers right there. And if anything needs to get changed, I can change it real time. I'm able to make those adjustments. I'm able to put in notes and all that kinds of stuff. But then I also love the fact of I know that I struggled as a kids ministry person with printed curriculum, where I was constantly having to have multiple copies of everything because you have a teacher take it home and then you have a last minute sub on a Sunday and you're like, where am I even supposed to get the materials that you need? But with an all digital resource, it's always right there, whether it's using it on an iPad in the classroom or even just printing it really quick from my computer. I love the fact that everything that you need is right there. And then as the Hyfi team, we are able to constantly update and announce things on that platform. So if something were to happen in our country or in our world that we feel like needs to be addressed in the curriculum, we're literally able to go on and do it. We can even do it hours before a Sunday and communicate that to all of the people who have purchased it. Just a quick little, hey, just a quick update. We added this in. And so the fact that it lives on Ministry Grid on this online platform makes it so easy for the leaders to access everything all the time, but also us as the developers to constantly be updating it. It means it's always new. It's always relevant. And I mean, we are constantly having conversations with people who are saying, you know what, I kind of wish that you guys had this. And what it means is that we can go and change it right now. We can make those adjustments. We haven't printed a year's worth of curriculum. And so this all digital platform that we have is just so user friendly for both us as a team and for all of the people who are using it in their ministry.
I'm just over here nodding my head vigorously yes. I know you guys can't see it in the podcast, I'm sorry, but I'm over here just nodding my head because that is so true. I love what you said about being culturally relevant, how we are always going to be relevant with what is happening right now, equipping really leaders with that message that we can share with kids no matter what is happening in our world. That is so true, Crystal. All right. Well, You have both taken very good answers. So I'm actually going to lean in a little bit to one of my favorite parts of Hyfi, and that is the media. I am the digital content specialist for Hyfi. So the media is a huge part of what I get to work on a day-to-day basis. And I am so excited about it. I am so excited about all of the videos. I'm excited about all of the slides. But most importantly, I'm excited about how they are all going to work together to not entertain the kids on a Sunday morning or on a Wednesday night, but to truly engage them with the content, with the truth about what they're learning. We don't want these pieces of media to just be a crutch or something that you're like, oh, we're going to play it and then set it and forget it. No, we want these pieces to interact with the relationships that you are building in the room. So as you are all building relationships with the kids in the room, to be able to use this media as a tool in your tool belt to help teach the lessons. So you can focus on the relationships. We're going to focus on the biblical content and the teaching so that they can pair together to really make these truths known to these kids, to these preschoolers, to these students. And it's not just media that is just someone up on the screen talking head teaching, but these are fun. This is engaging. We have intro videos like DIY Dan. We have intro videos like the Game Changer videos where they're smashing cakes. It's going to be tons of fun. It's going to be tons of high energy. Think VBS, think camp. And it's going to be engaging for kids to help them open up, to help them feel comfortable as they start to learn about this truth.
All right, Isaac, I have a question that as you were talking, I was like, this is so good and I love it. But I also think that as we're talking about Hyfi in the media, this is really different than anything that we have done with Lifeway before in some of our other curriculums that we provide. So I wanted to ask a question that I think a lot of us are asking right now as we're kind of digging into Hyfi and poking around and seeing what's going on with the media. How would you answer the question about media specifically because really in some of our other curriculums, media is optional, right? Like you can use it or you can't. If you want to teach the Bible story in person, or if you want to use the video, if you want to use the music, or if you don't, like it's all kind of optional. But really with Hyfi, it's really connected and integrated of how we have the host and how we have the media and how those things connect to each other. So how would you answer the question of why media is so different in Hyfi and how we utilize it, and how is that a good thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've actually gotten that quite a bit. So as we look at the media, as we look at actually the service flow of what we recommend for that Sunday morning, Wednesday night for that session, we have gone in and we have looked at every single element. We have looked at how they work together. And we want these kids, we want these preschoolers to not just feel like we are just throwing a bunch of stuff at them at the same time. We want them to feel like they are first safe, they are secure, so that their ears can be open to the truth that we want to teach them. So kind of our service flow looks like when they come in, they're not going to start off with, hey, here's the Bible lesson and this is what we're going to learn. And this starts actually all the way back at team time, not just with the media as they come into large group, but all the way back in team time. So that way, as they get to large group, we have a countdown video that is super fun, super engaging, but also anyone can participate, whether this is their first time ever in a church or this is their 1,000th time in a church. They can participate in those elements. And as they walk through large group, we're going to play games. We're going to have intro videos that start that conversation about what we are going to learn in the scripture. But we also have these host object lessons, and these host object lessons are there to pair with the media. It is a handoff where the intro video will introduce the truth, but they're going to hand that right off to that large group host for them to be able to hold up an object that preschoolers are seeing every single week. And they're going to say, hey, do you know what this is? Well, this can remind us of this truth. They're going to start by asking a question that any kid is asking, and then that's going to lead directly into our Bible story video. So there really is a handoff of the truth. So that way we're not saying, hey, every element is going to teach the same thing. Instead, it's helping kids walk through this whole section of, hey, I'm going from maybe I'm an outsider to, hey, I'm an insider, and I actually want to ask a question about how this truth affects my life.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I love how this resource and this curriculum is so intentional about this isn't hey, we're just going to let the media teach the kids and we're just going to press play and put kids in front of a screen and just let the media do all the teaching and we're not going to have any interaction. We're going to stand at the back of the room and chit chat with our friends because we want to catch up too. Like, it's not that the media is doing the only work in the room, but we also know, like, we have new kinds of leaders in our churches, and we have new kinds of volunteers and new people on our team that we want to utilize their best gifts of building relationships with kids. And the kids themselves in our generation are not coming to adults anymore for information, right? Like AI technology is training our kids and forming our kids to go. They know where to go to find information, but they come to the adult to help them interpret the information. And so with Hyfi, we are giving trustworthy content through the media and letting the media do that heavy lifting of Bible story teaching. And then we are setting up the leader to be that high point of connection and that high relationship so that kids come to that trusted leader to help them interpret the information and to build that trusted relationships with the kids. And I think that's such a heartbeat of why Hyfi works. And it's really cool.
Yeah, I would say we say all the time, right? Discipleship happens in the context of relationship. And we so strongly believe that when it comes to Hyfi, whether it is a brand new kid and we're just hoping that they're going to accept Christ for the first time, or it's somebody who's been there a long time and they just want to know, what does it mean to really love and follow Jesus for the rest of my life? And all of those are things that happen within conversations with a trusted relationship. And so we so so believe in all of you as ministry leaders listening to this, whether you are the director at your church, whether you are a volunteer, whether you are a parent who's just wanting to know more about what your kids are learning. We know that these kids are going to see their lives transformed because of the relationship that you have with Jesus and the relationship that you have with kids. And we want to do everything that we can through Hyfi, through all the stuff that we offer here in order to help promote those relationships.
That is so right. And that makes me so excited for churches to be using Hyfi just in a couple of weeks. We are so close to the start of actual first use of Hyfi, and I can't wait to hear those stories of relationship roll in as these leaders build relationships with these kids, and as these kids build a relationship with the kids around them, with the leaders in the room, and with a God who knows them. I'm excited for Hyfi. I know Kayla's excited for Hyfi. I know Crystal's excited for Hyfi, and we hope that you are just as excited as us about Hyfi. Well, join us next week. We are going to dive a little bit deeper into why Hyfi, what makes Hyfi different. Kayla talked a little bit about the heart of Hyfi, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that next week. So join us. We'll talk to you soon.